Hello, welcome back to a new episode of Spiritcraft, where you can nurture your soul and unleash the magic within. This is Marta, and I'm so happy to be back again. The first thing I want to say is thank you so much for your feedback on the Halloween special episode. I had so much fun making it, and so I'm very happy that you all enjoyed it. And a lot of the feedback was about the intro, and I'm really happy that you liked that part because it was so much fun. So yeah, thanks for that. You might have also noticed that the podcast has a new face. It looks slightly different, but don't worry, it's still the same content. I'm not going to start talking about spooky stuff and witchcraft and things like that. I just wanted to make the image reflect the general topics that I discuss here, which are from spiritual journeys and life coaching, yes, but also magic and rituals and other things a bit more supernatural. So I wanted it to be all represented, and the previous image didn't even represent coaching. Quite a few episodes ago, I think it was episode 5, and once I double check, I will put it in the show notes. We explored how to uncover and to celebrate our strengths while breaking free from limiting beliefs. And this is such a powerful topic that today we're diving into how this self-awareness can lead to reclaiming our personal power. I think personal power is a very important topic when we are on our personal growth journey. So we're going to be discussing a little bit about how to get there today. Self-awareness is not just about knowing our limitations, but it's about embracing our full potential and standing in our power, with flaws and all. So why is personal power and why is it important? Personal power is defined as the ability to influence situations and outcomes by influencing others, even when we don't hold a position of authority or power. We all have something called locus of control, and that is our belief in how much or how little we can control the events in our lives. And people generally are divided between having an internal locus of control or to have an external locus of control. Personal power is about having our own agency and having that internal locus of control. When we have an external locus of control, we believe things are out of our control and that others hold the key to the events that happen in our lives. We become reactive, we become passive. Essentially, things happen to us. When we have an internal locus of control, we believe that we have control over our lives instead, and we become proactive. We make things happen. The stories that we tell ourselves have a lot to do with our personal power or the lack of it, and whether we feel or not in control in our lives. In a similar way, living authentically can also influence our locus of control. The first step to reclaim our personal power is probably self-awareness, because after all, when we truly understand ourselves and our patterns, we can begin to shift from that external locus of control to an internal one. So we're going to explore how self-awareness becomes a powerful tool for transformation. I am aware that self-awareness can be seen as psychobabble. It's the next trendy word to spot out to gain likes and views, but it's actually critical as a tool for personal growth. I've said this before in other episodes, but we cannot change what we don't know. So being aware of how we think and function, of our patterns and triggers, it kind of seems like the basic step in this journey. To be self-aware means to understand your own thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and to understand how others see you. When we understand ourselves, we know our strengths, our weaknesses, our motivations, and so on. When we understand how others see us, we can also understand how our behavior is going to affect them. Self-awareness is about knowing our strengths and weaknesses. We must have a full picture of ourselves so we know which areas we need to improve and which areas we're good. And we must also be aware of any gaps in our knowledge. When we are self-aware, we can develop a growth mindset, which is crucial for personal growth and learning from our mistakes. An example of this: I am aware of some of my strengths and weaknesses. I am, for example, very creative and I always have lots of ideas. I'm able to look at a situation and think of different ways it could work, different ways it could not work, ways that it could simply be more fun. And, it probably sounds like a strength, doesn't it? I think it is a strength. However, it also means that I am easily distracted And I can get bored very quickly and leave things unfinished to chase the next shiny new thing, which is definitely a weakness. Because I know this and I am self-aware, I am aware of this, I can work with myself to create engaging creative environments where I can work. If I have a long project, for example, I have to give myself smaller tasks so I don't have time to get bored or distracted. When I need to focus on something, I use noise-canceling headphones and put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And I even tell my colleagues when I am at the office some variations of, I'm not trying to ignore you, I have to focus on this for the next hour or so, but if there's something urgent, you can let me know, you can still talk to me. Because I am aware of this, I have a bunch of projects and hobbies going on simultaneously so that I can rotate between them when I start getting frustrated with one of them. This plays totally to my strengths because it's having a lot of ideas and being creative while working on different projects at the same time helps with that weakness. Of course, this is not always possible because if there are tight deadlines or a project is very important, I have to work only on one thing. But I hope you kind of get what I mean. Being self-aware means acknowledging our insecurities, fears, and our shadows. And it also relates to how our behavior affects others. And our shadow is a funny thing, the way it works, because it can just simply take over in ways that we are actually not aware of. I, for example, used to be annoyed with loud people, and you cannot see me right now, but I'm doing quotation marks with my hands. I don't mean loud as in volume, but loud as in your face. Kind of people who want to be seen, who wear whatever they want, who are scandalous, maybe start dancing in the middle of the street. You know that type. And the key question here is, why would I feel almost personally offended by someone whose behavior had nothing to do with me or would affect me in any way? Well, I finally realized that it was related to part of my shadow. See, one of the side effects of being a victim of bullying when you're a kid is you then try to make yourself invisible. I was a crazy little girl. I was outspoken, funny, silly. I was basically a child having fun and being unaware of people's opinions. And then I was bullied. And so I became shy. I became scared of the spotlight, of rejection, mockery. So seeing someone behaving like themselves with no care in the world, it reminded me subconsciously of the person I wanted to be, but I was too afraid to be. So I judged them, internally anyway. Now, mind you, this might still happen from time to time, but now I know exactly what's going on. So when I hear myself saying something like, oh my God, look at that person doing, wearing, or some other variation of that, essentially them being loud, being colorful, fun, or just weird, or whatever, I just stop myself and course correct. And I say something like, I love how free they are. And that is very important to me because it's not about not feeling, not noticing the shadow. It's not about being angelic and perfect all the time. It's about knowing my own limitations, my own triggers, and catching myself when I'm having these thoughts and being able to change them as they happen. And that only comes from self-awareness. Self-awareness allows us to recognize patterns and beliefs that empower us or disempower us. We either have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And this also affects how we see ourselves and the story we tell ourselves. The difference between the two is a fixed mindset is, for example, if you think you're not good at maths, is believing that you're never going to get better at maths. Is believing that you're dumb because you don't know maths or a language or anything else. Is believing that things are never going to change and having this kind of doom and gloom about it. When you have a growth mindset, you recognize that you're not good at maths or a language, but you know that with practice you can get better. Or at least you believe you want to get better. You know that there's a possibility of getting better. So you're going to try different ways of getting better. You're going to try to find solutions to that situation. So that is the main difference between a growth or a fixed mindset. But don't worry, because a growth mindset can be practiced and it can be learned. As we understand all of this preamble, we can take our first practical step towards developing self-awareness. We cannot know ourselves unless we explore ourselves. So I've prepared a couple of questions that can be maybe a little bit powerful to get you started. You can pause the episode and go grab pen and paper And your journal will work great for this, by the way. And you can take time to answer each question, or you can just have a think quickly as we go. I'm going to add a link to a PDF in the show notes if you want to take this topic a bit further. While self-exploration and finding our true selves takes time and dedication, now is as great a time as any to get started. You can take as long as you need to answer these questions, okay? Question 1. What am I naturally drawn to? Have a think. What sort of things you are attracted to instantly? Hobbies, situations, even type of people. Question 2. When do I feel most myself? Question 3. What is something I find inspiring? That's it. Have a think. Now, I don't want you to edit your answers. Nobody's going to read them, okay? So feel free to answer them as you feel without any external expectations. Don't judge yourself either, because we can be our worst critics. And honestly, there are plenty of people out there ready to criticize you. So don't be one of them. Okay, we can discuss the beliefs that can prevent us from living fully and authentically. These are called self-limiting beliefs, which are negative assumptions about ourselves, such as thinking that we're not good enough or smart enough or we're not ready or whatever. They're often rooted in past experiences or in messages that we've internalized over time, but they don't have to define us. What we do is start by identifying a belief that comes up, and especially when you think about stepping into your power or going after something meaningful. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? How has it served you in the past? But most importantly, is it true? Or does it only feel true because you've held on to it for so long? Remember, self-limiting beliefs are not facts. They're thoughts. You can change them. Every time you notice one self-limiting belief arising, I want you to pause and question it, and then shift towards a belief that aligns with the powerful, capable person that you truly are. I'm going to give you another personal example. I am very prone to say things like, I'm such an idiot, for things that have nothing to do with intelligence or anything like that. It's a very damaging self-limiting belief. So I would, for example, forget something, forget an appointment, forget my phone at home, and I would say to myself, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I forgot that. And that is a self-limiting belief, because I am not an idiot. I am very intelligent and I'm very resourceful. And so I will stop myself there when I catch myself. And I would say, no, I'm not an idiot. I am busy and running around. And so I'm distracted and I just forgot, but it's okay, because I am very intelligent and I'm very resourceful. And this means that I'm actually doing a lot of stuff. If this sort of thing resonates with you and you like to explore it a bit deeper, I have a goal-setting course that includes specific exercises on self-limiting beliefs. And this can really help you break through and move forward. So if you're interested, you can find more on the website, and I will leave all the links in the show notes, as usual. So all of these self-limiting beliefs, a lot of the times, they're related to our shadow. And I've spoken about shadow work in the past a little bit, and I have a post about it. The shadow essentially represents the aspects of ourselves that we repress or that we deem unacceptable. And these can be traits, desires, emotions, thoughts, things that we've learned to suppress. And maybe it's due to our upbringing or past experiences, or I don't know, even the society where we grew up. Despite of attempts to bury them, these aspects will still influence our thoughts and behaviors from the subconscious. They might manifest as self-sabotage or projection onto others. There are going to be persistent patterns that are going to hinder personal growth. Shadow work looks to explore and integrate the hidden aspects of ourselves. And it's a profound journey of self-awareness and healing that can lead to deep transformation and to inner peace. You can start by reflecting on a trait or a habit in others that triggers you. Remember that example I said earlier about unapologetic people. Once you identify that, you need to consider whether that trait or habit actually exists in you, or if it represents something that you're afraid to embrace. Like in my case, I am afraid to embrace that loudness and that being yourself unapologetically. We always have to remember to approach the shadow with compassion and curiosity rather than criticism or shame. These aspects have developed as coping mechanisms, and they hold valuable lessons for growth. Shadow work involves examining our subconscious to confront and integrate the suppressed aspects of our psyche. And yes, shadow work can feel intimidating, but you can always seek guidance from a therapist or a spiritual coach like me. We can provide invaluable support and illumination along the way. Because shadow work can be triggering, and that deep exploration can unlock unexpected feelings or past experiences, having a safe space to explore your shadow is vital for your well-being. While shadow work represents some of the deeper inner work we can do, there are also daily practices that we can try to strengthen our self-awareness muscles and develop a stronger personal power. As I said earlier in the episode, we can practice and cultivate our personal power and train ourselves to acquire a growth mindset. To help you started, I have a list of practical tools that you can begin using right away. And guess which one is the first one? I'm going to give you a hint. It's time for a wellness check. As you can imagine, journaling is an incredible tool for discovering how our subconscious mind works so that we can work on our self-awareness. Answering questions such as, what made me feel powerful today? When did I hold back and why? And writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you better understand them. By using a journal, you can also track your progress and identify patterns in your behavior. Also, don't go about life like a mindless zombie. Check in with yourself throughout the day, noticing emotions and thoughts with curiosity, remember, not judgment. Mindfulness allows you to pay attention to the present moment, and you can do this through meditation, yoga, or just by taking a few deep breaths and, just focusing on that breathing so that you are present. Another tool that I am a huge fan of is affirmations. Words have power, and our inner voice is constantly talking to us. So it's important to be careful about the words we tell ourselves. Affirmations such as, I am committed to knowing and embracing my true self, can be used daily, and they will work slowly to help you change that mindset. Of course, you can also do training courses to learn how emotional intelligence contributes to your well-being and success, or any other sort of topic that can help you with your mental health and can give you some tools for self-awareness. The last one might be the hardest to practice, but asking other people for honest feedback on your behavior and how it impacts them is going to give you insights into how others perceive you. And you might hear some things that you don't like, and that's okay. So start by asking people that you actually trust, and they're going to be compassionate. These daily practices are powerful tools for building self-awareness, and they kind of look like nothing. But as we engage with them, we might encounter parts of ourselves, as I said, we feel uncomfortable with, or maybe that they're challenging, and is why self-compassion becomes such an important companion in this journey. Self-compassion is essential when we start uncovering and working with those parts of ourselves that we might not fully understand or even like. As you begin to recognize your shadows, your limiting beliefs, or areas you want to grow in, remember that true power doesn't come from being perfect or having all the answers. Instead, it comes from accepting yourself in your entirety, flaws, strengths, quirks, everything, warts and all. When you give yourself kindness at every step, you're reclaiming power by acknowledging your own humanity. Being kind to yourself builds inner resilience. It allows you to move through challenges without self-judgment and with a sense of curiosity instead of fear. Each time you choose compassion, you're standing in your power, showing yourself that you are worthy of love and understanding, especially from yourself. So, if self-criticism sneaks in or you feel frustrated with your progress, just take a deep breath. Give yourself permission to be exactly where you are, knowing that embracing who you are now is just as powerful as the person you are becoming. There are many ways that we can work on our personal power. And another way that I want to share with you now is a reflection exercise. So we're going to do a short meditation, visualizing your empowered self. So if you're driving or anything like that, please don't do the meditation, don't relax. Just pay attention to what you're doing. If you need to pause the episode, then that's fine. We can pick it up at another time. Otherwise, we're going to take a few moments to connect with your most empowered self. So I want you to start by finding a comfortable position, either sitting or laying down. And when you're ready, there's no rush, gently close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go of any tension in your body. Slowly feel your shoulders soften. Relax your jaw. And let your breath settle into a natural rhythm. I want you to forget everything that's going on in your life. All the worries, all the stress. I want you to put them to the side. Imagine yourself in a place that feels both safe and inspiring. It could be somewhere real. It could be somewhere you've been before. Or maybe a place that you just create for yourself. Picture it clearly. Notice all the colors. Notice the sounds, the smells. Is there any wind? Is it hot or maybe cold? Just really take in the atmosphere around you. Remember, you are completely safe. In this space, see yourself standing confidently as your most empowered self. Notice how you carry yourself. See the strength in your posture, the ease in your expression, the calm power in your stance. I want you to feel the energy radiating from you. This energy is steady, is grounded, and it's strong. What are you doing in this vision? Maybe you're doing something that you're passionate about. Maybe you're speaking your truth. Or maybe you're simply moving through the world with clarity and purpose. Whatever it is that you're doing, notice any details about your movements or your actions. Let them fill you with a sense of pride and self-assurance. Now bring your attention to how you feel on the inside. Is there a sense of calm, a sense of freedom, maybe even joy? let these feelings expand, filling every part of you. Trust that this empowered version of you already exists within you. It's ready to guide you, ready to support you on your journey. Take one more deep breath, anchoring this feeling of power and confidence in your heart. And remember that you can return to this vision whenever you need a reminder of your inner strength. When you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to the present moment, feeling the surface you're resting on and the sounds around you. Slowly open your eyes and carry this sense of empowerment with you as you move forward in your day. As I mentioned, that is a short visualization. I am working on a longer version for my Insight Timer and on YouTube. So I will let you know when that one is ready. As we close today's episode, I want you to remember that reclaiming your personal power is a continuous journey of self-discovery, growth, and self-compassion. Personal power is tied to recognizing our inner strengths, our choices, and resilience. It's the natural next step in self-empowerment. By examining our limitations with self-compassion, we learn to empower ourselves rather than letting self-doubt control us. It's not about striving for perfection, but about accepting all parts of yourself, the light and the shadow, and embracing them with kindness. Earlier, we explored briefly the concept of shadow work and how looking into your hidden aspects can spark transformation. And if this resonates with you, have a look at my blog post on the topic. I can also create some exercises to help you on this journey. For now, I just invite you to reflect on that vision of your most empowered self. Keep that image close and let it serve as a reminder of the strength, clarity, and purpose that already exists in you. Remember that self-awareness is a tool to identify and reclaim personal power, but is often obscured by shadows or self-doubt. Real empowerment comes not from controlling our traits, but from understanding and accepting them compassionately. Your personal power grows when you embrace self-compassion in moments of confrontation with your shadows. So what is the next small step that you can take today to reclaim your personal power? I would love to hear your thoughts. Hit me up on Instagram or Threads. You can also email me and let me know what action you're inspired to take. And that is all I have for you today. So until next week, stay true and keep reclaiming your power.